In this video, I'm going to show you how to convert your color image to black and white using Photoshop. The simplest way to do this is to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. You can also hit Ctrl-U or Command-U on the Mac. Once this dialog box is open, you can drag the saturation slider all the way down to -100. Click OK, and now all the color is gone from the image. However, this image might lack contrast now, such as in this example. It's okay, but it'd be nice if we could tweak the lights and darks, create a little more dramatic of an image. You can do this several ways to adjust the contrast in Photoshop. For instance, you can use the adjustment for curves. You can pull down the darks, raise the highlights a bit, add a bit of pop to it. The whites are whiter, your shadow area has more interest to it, but that's about as far as you can take it. You could also use levels or other brightness contrast tools in Photoshop to make this adjustment. However, there's another way to do this within Photoshop that gives you more creative control about how the final image will look. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to go down to my history palette and go back to the beginning where we have our full color image. This time I'm going to go to Adjustments, Black and White, and this will create a black and white adjustment layer. Now the initial view is pretty similar to what we saw earlier, but now we can use these 6 color sliders to adjust how bright or dark a particular color shows up in the final black and white image. So for instance, if I drag the red slider down, see areas of red will get darker. Yellow works the same way. I can make the yellows really bright. If there's any greens in the image, there's a few there in the upper right corner, you can see that changing. Cyans, there's apparently a lot of, and it's right on that. You can adjust the lightness and darkness of that, so on and so on. This works pretty well and allows you to really have some creative control over how the final black and white image looks. However, there is one way that even gives you more creative control. So let's take a look at that. Again, I'm going to go back to my history, to our open state, and instead of using an adjustment layer, I'm simply going to duplicate the background layer, and then I'm going to open the Camera Raw filter. Now the Camera Raw filter looks very similar to Lightroom, and most of the same controls and adjustments are available here. So if you use Lightroom instead, you would still have the same creative control. So what I'm going to do now is click the black and white button, and you'll see now instead of just 6 colors, we have 8 different colors, which we can fine tune to adjust the image how we want. You still have overall control using levels, curves, other things like that in Photoshop, but you can really decide what you want to appear, however bright or dark it's going to be, and then click OK. Now our new layer has been made into black and white, and I like where it is. Of course, if I wanted to take it a bit further, I still could add a curves adjustment layer and even add more contrast as I wanted, but at least now I know the colors that I want to really show up, bright or dark, are the way I want them. So as you can see, there are multiple ways to convert an image from color to black and white. Thanks for watching.